GTii currently in a capitulation event. It actually met our bearish target, but it has since surpassed it. Have we found a bottom? Well, let's just go ahead and find out in this video if we have. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with we're gonna do it on raw price action technicals, and if we have the time, we'll go ahead and touch on the statistics. But that's the thread of analysis for tonight. This is Saturday night, okay, you guys? So if you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. Okay, so we're looking at GTii in the 4-hour chart here, and as you can see, we were looking at this right angle triangle, and we had the potential to be able to look at an upside target and a downside target per the playbook rules of this triangle itself. Some people actually call this a descending triangle too. Now, the bearish target was right down to here at the 1.618, $2.11, by taking the trend line from the hypotenuse of the triangle down to the lowest point of the triangle and applying it to the point of breakout for a price objective. It has surpassed our price objective. Now, there may be some temporary upside if I'm looking at price action right here. Some temporary upside. I'm talking about immediate short term before potentially continuing on to the downside. I will show you why I am saying that. Now, the level where we actually bounce from is not a random level from this candle and this candle. This is actually these blue lines here. If we can actually refer back to maybe the first or second video that I made of GTii after the run-up, I did tell everybody that there is a psychological component due to this gap here, and we came and covered that gap right to the support, right to the end of this candle right over here, and then bounced. This candle would actually used the top of that gap as a form of support, but you know, it's not too valid of a support. It was just a gap that we kept as a kind of a psychological component for us to just keep in mind while trading the GTii asset. Now, yes, it looks like there could potentially be a bounce right here, but I'm talking about really immediate short term. But I want to go ahead and pull up the next chart so that you can see what I mean. So on the 5-day chart, and this particular chart, I haven't shown anyone, and this was actually in respects to another someone who commented on my. I apologize if I forgot your name, buddy, but he asked me, you know, what are my real thoughts on GTii, you know, and I think he gave me the impression that he was looking for the long term. So I actually started looking at GTii from a different angle, and on the 5-day chart, which is more of a macro space, I did notice that we are in a bullish formation, and this formation is a descending channel. Now, if we're following the golden rule of 3, we can see that we have test number 1, 2, 3, the capitulation event. My apologies. Followed by a true breakout on test number 4. Now, if you can see here, we have not come back to test our newly converted resistance into now support before continuing on to the upside. So this could be a sign. Now, if we're looking at some levels here, the descending channel is suggesting for us to be able to test around the $1.07 level with right at this new support, if it can handle it, right? So this is a triangle that I'm actually looking at in a smaller time frame. It's not actually drawn well here because it doesn't belong to the 5-day. This ascending triangle or pennant could be trading in a smaller time frame, and I will show you why now. I just wanted to be able to give you an idea as to what we're looking at here. Okay, so now let's move on to that next chart and see what I am talking about. Okay, so here we go. This is the 4-hour chart, and this is that pennant that we were looking at right over here. Okay, so on the 5-day chart. So now this is what it's like when we're a little more, you know, zoomed in. Now, the way to trade this is if we do fail the support, we need to be able to take, and we have closed a candle 4-hour candle below the support. So this is almost confirmed. And what I mean by a short-term time frame upside is potentially to test the newly converted support into now resistance before a continuation to the downside. And this was the gap that we were talking about. And just look at the accuracy in that candle. It actually touched right at that support level before bouncing up to the upside, thus closing this gap indefinitely. Okay, so now the breakout happened. Arguably right here. So we're going to go ahead and take a trend line from the top of the hypotenuse of the triangle to this area where the breakout candle happened, and we're going to apply it to the support line and now convert it into resistance, so that we can be able to gauge an implied or projected target. And that target, let's just go ahead and draw a trend line right over here. So it looks like it's suggesting for us to touch at about $1.09. Now, if you remember correctly, or if you remember, just now we were talking about potentially coming back to test our newly converted support. Newly converted resistance into now support before a continuation to the upside. And look at the level that we have here. That is about $1.06, $1.07. So this is there's confluent targets happening here, and that is leading me to believe that this objective from the breakout of the triangle coming down to $1.07 is absolutely making sense with the support from that descending channel. And this could be a confirmation or validation of support before us continuing to the upside. It is very important that we do that. So now another thing is that if you can see the cursor has a cross, right? So look at the horizontal line all the way to the fib at this area right here. So look at the 272 right there at this support. So we have the potential of us using the 272 as a form of support, as well as the descending channel newly converted resistance into support. Now let's go ahead and just bring up some SMAs to see if there's anything of interest here. Okay, so the SMAs look like, okay, okay. Yeah, there definitely are a couple obstacles now. We have the 7-day exponential moving average, the 10-day. This is the 30-day exponential. This is a 50-day simple, which we used as a form of support before bouncing alongside the gap that we filled. And it looks like now we have 1, 2, 3 moving averages, including the newly converted support into resistance from the triangle. That are kind of like betting against the price action going towards the upside. So now let's go ahead and get a bias for direction. So we can actually do that with an RSI, and let's go ahead and just look at the several time frames here. Wow, there's some interesting things happening here. Oh my goodness. You guys, I mean, look at there's a wow. Yeah, we're gonna go a bit lower in a few of these. Okay, I'm also gonna bring up the diagram for my RSI profile so that you can be able to kind of tag along and know the lingo as I'm talking, right? So you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 zones. 1, 2, 3, 4 right over here blown up for you to see what I'm talking about. So immediate short-term time frame is absolutely in accordance of what we're talking about. It's suggesting an upside continuation, a very slight upside, and let's just look at the 15-minute to see if it's doing the same thing. Yeah, so the 15-minute is also suggesting upside, which is very much in a which is very much in accordance with us coming back up to test our newly converted support into now resistance before continuing to the downside. We still need to make a valid resistance level here before short positions open to make a range trade down to the between $1.04 to $1.09 for confirmation of our descending channel newly converted resistance into support. So the RSI is absolutely in accordance with that. Let's look at the bi-hourly. The bi-hourly, let's just zoom in a little bit. So the bi-hourly is actually suggesting a continuation to the downside from a critical oversold percentile. We're looking at 13.27. This is massively low. And in fact, it looks like we may have never made a low this low throughout the entire trading history of GTii. Yep, no, never. So now, let's see. Yeah, yet again, we've now made a new historical low, and that is a 13.27. So this is and it's still continuing, and it's still suggesting some downside. It's getting incredibly oversold here. So a bounce is very likely to happen after maybe a trade, after maybe a trading session or two. Okay, so now let's look at the 6 hour. The 6 hour is also suggesting a slight downside, but the pivot is now starting to maybe turn to the upside. Here's where we can give some real credit to. This is the daily chart, and it's the daily RSI, and it is suggesting a continuation to the downside from well within the bear grips of the bearish strength percentile. So also you can see that we're in the very deep areas when we're in these junctions. When we're at the borders of each of whatever zone, we're very likely to jump into the next zone. So this is definitely going to shoot for oversold in the daily. Let's look at the buy daily just for yeah. Okay, so the buy daily has now jumped into the bear strength percentile, and the pivot is weakening just a little bit, and we are still within the shallow areas of the bear strength percentile. So this can likely fall just a bit more before us facing a corrective move to the upside if we the suggestions are according to what we're talking about. The 3-day, man, that is also suggesting a continuation to the downside, and now it is in the deep areas of the bear weakness percentile, which means that we are likely to go into bear strength. It's going to be the shorter term time frames, maybe the 6 hour and the bi-hourly at reversal, that are going to pressure everything up to the upside, including the larger term timeframes. I'm talking about maybe to the buy daily or to the daily. The buy daily would probably be the first. The last one to be influenced, and that's I can't guarantee that. The daily is more than likely going to correct as soon as it reaches some lower levels down here. Okay, so yeah, you guys, if you're playing short, I could see this being a great play. That you can, there's a potential gain here to be made. So we're looking at from the resistance to the support down here, you're looking at a 48% gain. So I think is GTii OTC or is it Nasdaq? Let's just look at this. GTii. Is this the one? Man, so yeah, so there's probably no options chain on this asset. So I guess if you don't have a margin account, or you don't have a way to make a borrow or lend shares out, then short position may not be something to play for you. But I'm not a financial advisor. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as a form of entertainment. I can't actually suggest for you to buy or sell any assets. Okay, do your own DD and we'll be okay. And I think this is a pretty good place for me to leave off the video. If you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Discord, on Twitter. I'll make sure to leave the links in the description below for you to consider joining the ARCa trading community in Discord. But with that said, I wish you a good night and a good rest of your weekend, and I will catch you at the bell Monday. Adios.